Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Anubhava Insights. Today with me I have Mr. Hemachadra, a person with more than 20 years of experience in the industry who currently works as a solutions architect at Hewlett Packard Enterprises. He's also the president of the Alumni Council of IIIT-B and he is also a graduate of the first batch of IIIT-B. So thank you for your time today, and I think we would all like to start off by asking, it's been 20 years since you joined the college. How has it changed? How was your experience the first time you were here?
Hey, hi, Ash. Thanks for having me here. It's always a pleasure to come back to my alma mater, though not in the same place. So the institute has changed locations. When I come back, the first thing that strikes me is this beautiful campus that you have here. 25 years ago, we had one floor in the most snazziest location in Bangalore. But things were different. We were in a rented place. The hostel was 5 kilometers away. It was just one floor. We hardly had staff. There was only one person backing up as a director, registrar, dean, name it, and everyone there. And we had one more professor full time, Professor Dinesha. The rest of all the professors were the best of them were coming in, but they were coming in from either IIMB or IISc on the request of our director, Professor Sadagopan. So, so a lot of things have changed. Now you have a whole staff room full of highly qualified professors and amazing labs. This infrastructure is too good and very envious as well. Wish like coming back here. So
How was life as the first batch? How was your college life? How was the campus? How was the food?
oh, okay. Lots of stories. You would probably need a full podcast for that. It was one thing for not sure, not at all organized because we were the first batch, and it was the first batch of Triple IT. There was it was all impromptu brawn and a lot of chaos around it. There was only one person who was in charge, Professor Sadgopan, and as he says, uh, things will fall in place. That was one. We had a lot of questions behind our mind because at that time when we came to Triple IT, the charter of Triple IT was to help engineers of other streams shift to IT, and the masters was more like a cramped up course of the entire stuff that you learn in a bachelor's of computer science into other things. And 90% of our batch were from non-IT backgrounds. Name the branch, and we had them from very good colleges. All the RECs and 2 3 IIT guys were also there trying to switch with a professional degree into the IT world. That was the charter. So the only thing was like things will fall in place. But there was a lot of chaos. But now, as we fondly remember it back, those are the times that we have. It gives us, if things were all in place and going smoothly, we probably would not have remembered it fondly. So everything was a challenge to the classes, to going back to the hostel. The hostel was like maybe 6 7 kilometers away, and at that point of time, 2000, ITPL was one end of Bangalore. So, and the hostel was 6 kilometers away from ITPL. So it was, public transport was non-existent. None of them. We didn't have our own transport. We used to take lifts. It was fun. It was beyond the Sai Baba ashram that we have today. And ITPL was very flashy location at that time because it was all the big companies were there. But despite that, the entire ITPL, we were the first ones to carry a laptop back in 2000. Triple IT students had a laptop from day one with a Compaq, I guess. And so a lot of fond memories, and we would never have a timing for the classes. Our operating systems. Professor H. N. Mahabla, he used to come from IISc after finishing his day job at IISc, that is literally at the other side of town. And he would come in and we would get a word that Professor Mahabla is expected to reach at 8:30 p.m. We would be in class at 8:30 p.m. And then classes would go on till 9:30 and then break. So, and similarly, economics, we had one professor from IMB who would come based on their availability. So there is no Saturdays, no Sundays, no 8 p.m., no p.m. It was round the clock learning, round the clock figuring it out for ourselves. And of course, we had Professor Sidgopan and Dinesha with us to clarify our dots, help connect to the professor submitting electronics. And another factor was only few people in the class were IT savvy or IT exposed to things, right? We were all from non-IT backgrounds per se. So a lot of self-help within within the circle, whoever were good at it, they used to mentor the other guys and help us catch up with studies. A lot of anarchy, but there was a method in that madness, as you say, and then we did manage to finish it and come over. Very, very fond memories of it. Taught us a lot of things, and these lessons were useful later in life also, because whenever we are facing situations at work and now, when we see nothing's organized and nothing's falling in place, we know how to put things in order and how to get the things. There's a chaotic project, totally out of the place. Things are all failing, thousand jobs failing in production. How do you get back things? How do you set right the system? We've been through that things. We for 2 years or 1.5 years, we literally worked for 18, 20 hours, and then that's taught us, made us more harder prepared to face the industry.
I think, as you mentioned, IIIT-B has a lot of multidisciplinary courses, and I think that's still carried over to this day. Do you think there's a couple of things that have like that dramatically gotten better over the last 20 years, or maybe something that you would wish would go back to how it was 20 years ago?
Oh, things which have improved is the faculty, amazing faculty. When I look at the profiles, when I talk to them now, they're all incredibly qualified ones on campus for you, with whom you can do your research. Everything is top notch. The labs and the infrastructure, the hostels, those have certainly gone, way ahead. So I would not want it to go back. Um, what would go back? No, I would leave it as it is. This is the new avatar, the new kids coming in. At that time, we were only masters. Now we have IM techs. Now the B techs are starting. So that gives a lot younger perspective into the institute, and a more reach into the student community, and more time the students spend in the campus, the more attachment they get to the college, is what I believe. Masters spend 2 years. If you look at the bigger picture, they would have already had all their best friends, or foundations of friendships laid at the graduate level, school level. And masters is 2 years. The number of people who stick on throughout the life, and the number of friends that you make are more with your graduate people with whom you do a graduation. So I think this avatar is evolving. It is becoming an institute of something which will go on forever. So these is changing times.
Speaking of going on forever, we recently celebrated our 25 years of the college, and you were felicitated at that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really cherish that. At some point in life, when you grow up and you go through all the accolades and you go through, right, the recognition that comes from our people who taught us, professors and our guides, when they say job well done, that is what is a changing factor. Doesn't really make a wish from the CEO of a company, or that's work. You do for them and they congratulate you. But a professor or your own teacher or your own alma mater wishing you makes a whole lot of difference to me. And that day when they felicitated me for the contribution, I really didn't expect it to happen, because along with our professors down in the audience was Mr. Narayan Murthy and our chairman of governing council, everybody, and I cherish that. I really cherish that much more than the accolades that I received at work.
So, talking about your work with the committee, what are some things that you are proud of that you have done with the committee, and who all are the people who helped you in achieving those tasks?
Oh, fantastic self-motivated youngsters. I've got the privilege of getting connected with a lot of juniors that I couldn't meet because of the way that our classes are run, right? The last semester's internships, and we are away when the second batch comes in, and we don't get to meet our juniors. That is how it was there in last few years back. Now you have IM Tech, so you tend to see people. But as a part of the alumni council, right, I got to meet them, and we have hugely motivated, hugely talented people from we try to put it as from the industry, from education and entrepreneurs, absolute people who are dedicated, and they are willing to spend the most priciest commodity, that is the time. They give their time off weekends from their family to the institute, thinking what can we do about it. Having said that, right, about your question about what is that you're really proud of, ever since we started doing this thing, right, it was one alumni chapter at that time. Now we have, I guess, three, four, one in US, one in UK, Europe when we kicked off, and then Australia there is one. So we've connected people all over, and right, any of these places a IIIT movement student wants to go in and settle in, there is a person whom we can connect them with and help him settle down. Be it anything, not from a work perspective, not only from a college perspective or further perspective. There's somebody with you can just leverage and then help you out. And of course, the annual Sangam meet, which is very dear to us. We spend a lot of time and effort on organizing it, of course, with the help of students behind you guys, putting up everything. So um, the whole thing is so refreshing at the end of the year when you reflect upon what happened to it. First thing that comes to my mind is first that IIIT work that I do ran the work at office, and I hope my office is not listening to this.
Right. So talking about that, how has being in the alumni council, has it helped you in your professional life, and how do you think it has impacted you personally?
um, Professional life and personally also, during COVID, we did um, as did a lot of things. But from IIIT perspective, the IIIT Alumni Committee raised huge money. There were some constraints which we tried to work through, and then all of them reached out to us saying, "How can we contribute?" All the abroad alumni, and they're saying money is not the issue. In fact, one of the person went ahead and started doing it. There was help pouring in. A IIIT alum's father not well in Delhi. He's away in the US. He wanted somebody to go check in there. We were running it from our homes. So it was overwhelming, but even whatever little bit of difference we could make, that really made a difference. Uh, like we could connect people. They were saying, okay, there's an alumni going from vis-a-vis complaint to a friend of a friend of a friend, not like that, but it's just directly our junior who's going and checking on his parents, and then some money pouring in. Then there were a lot of donations that we made. That was a real highlight, and the power of IIIT alumni. The more together we are, the more changes that we can get. That's where we saw it really happening. Our juniors doing wonderful work as a thing. A lot of things that I missed out, and a lot of stuff that I didn't use outside, but I didn't know they were IIIT alumni. Startup companies. The other day, I was in a hospital for my wife, and then I was charging my phone. The plug go is a IIIT funded this thing. On that there's a History Channel show, India it comes, right. That was Fasal was featured in it. So the more stories I hear about IIITB juniors coming in, I mean, of course, I know them all through the council. So as a person, we are able to connect them together. There has been an instance where a person wanted to start up. I just had to connect him to there, and then he says, and they said, okay, you're a junior. Okay, take him into the things and then guide him how to do it. So as a person, that ability to connect people and address their questions or help them a little way, even what we see during our annual mentorship, mock interviews, group discussions, and resume screenings that we do for the current students, that also, I think, we are adding value and gives a lot of satisfaction at the end of the day.
So I think now for some closing remarks. As the president of the Alumni Council, where do you see the future of IIITB over the next couple of years, and how alumni could maybe contribute to that future?
A huge chunk. I mean, this year, I think what we should realize is we are in the middle of the next jump that is happening for IIIT. We started the undergraduate admissions, right? We always had the IMTechs. You yourself are an
It's a new
IMTech.
campus coming up.
It's a new campus coming up, one more new campus. And speaking of which, I realized you spoke about the campus, right? I was there for the puja of the Ramanujam building, then the media hall, auditorium, and then there's now one more campus coming up with a bachelor's intake, which is always the big numbers come in, which means our numbers and alumni are going to grow exponentially, right? Our family is going to grow at a faster rate. Earlier, we had only MTechs or IMTechs, right? It was probably 150, 175 per year alumni adding. Now you would have like 400, 500 alumni getting joined back into this thing, right? So, which is huge. And the alumni, the brand plays a big role. I'm sure, being from this current batch, you would have seen, and as you research institutes for your joining and all these people and all the social media and everything, right? They research. One of the factors they bring up is how is the alumni network for the college. That's a big factor, and I've seen it. I have myself had few people reach out to me, friends and family, who say like, how is the alumni connect? How are there alumni from this college and this university, etc., etc. Questions like that. So that's an important parameter now, not only for the students, and you'll be interested to know that even in NIRF rankings, we had to attend a session where they'd ask you, what do you do for the alumni? How are the alumni staying connected? So there are points based on that. So when they decide the writing for an university, it also reflects on how you stay connected, right? So IIIT is in the middle of becoming, the next level of institute with a new campus, new intakes, and everything. So you should play your part in seeing it attain much more greater heights. So
Yeah. Thank you for that answer.
my pleasure.
I think a lot of the alumni are going to be motivated to take a more active part in the college, and maybe the students, when they graduate, will also take some guidance from you.
Yeah, that's one thing I see. The students are always active in the first 3 years, and then their participation dies down. My request is, like, if this is n-3 and above, they should stay connected. We never have a problem with the last two batches staying connected. They're always a joy, and they're always in the campus and stay connected.
With that, I would like to end this episode of Anubhava Insights. Thank you, Mr. Hemachandra, for your time and the insights that you have provided here. And we will see you on the next episode of Anubhava Insights.
Thank you, Ayush. My pleasure. Thank you for having me here.